Call to order our meeting of the Ramapo Town Board. And this is the meeting of March 9th, and I'd like to ask our clerk, Christian Sampson, to call the roll.
Councilman Deputy Supervisor Withers.
Present.
Councilman Ullman.
Here.
Councilman Tress. Councilwoman Charles. Here. Supervisor St. Lawrence.
Here, I'd like to ask Deputy Supervisor Withers to lead us in a Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we're going to do things a little bit out of order tonight. First thing I'm going to do is ask for a motion to appoint Marty Riley as the captain of our police department. Moved by Deputy
Withers.
Supervisor Withers, seconded by Councilwoman Charles. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries unanimously. Marty joined our police department in 1987.
Correct.
And coming from the Woodbury Police Department. And we were glad to have you come and join our department.
Thank you.
And ever since you joined our department in 1987, you have been an incredible representation of what our police department is on all levels.
Thank you.
And in 1999, he was promoted to sergeant. And in 2007, he became patrol sergeant, which patrol services sergeant, which is a people can sit down. You can sit down. Which really covers a lot of territory, from our DARE to our resource officers to the youth academy, which you really work so hard on. I see Officer Anton here, and so many people in the department that work on that. But you worked on intern programs. You worked for diversity in our police department, and you got, I think, a great education in the patrol services area. And then in 2010, you were promoted to lieutenant. And you have served with distinction. And then today, on March 9th, our town board had a meeting on the interviews of 3 incredible candidates. And I want everybody to know it is one of the toughest things in this town board when we have to make promotions, because we have so many talented officers moving up through the ranks. And you are an example of that. And we are lucky to have such a service across the board, and I know you are going to make an incredible captain. So what I'd like to do is ask Chris Sampson to come up, ask your family to come up, and then I will ask the town board to join us as we do the swearing in. As they come up, I'd like to introduce your wife, Dawn, your son, Colin, your daughter, Brooke, your mother, Belle, and your dad, Marty. Marty, you sit right here. And we'll do it in a way so that everybody at home can see you. And then I'd like, we have our Chief, Brad Wydell, here. I'm sorry, Chief. And Brendel, come on, Brendel. We want you up in this line here, too. Right here next to Marty. All right. Great.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Martin Riley,
I, Martin Riley,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will abide by the rules and regulations
and I will abide by the rules and regulations
of the Town of Ramapo Police Department,
of the Town of Ramapo Police
and
Department,
that I will faithfully discharge my duties as
and I will faithfully discharge my duties as
Town of Ramapo Police Captain
Town of Ramapo Police Captain
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Captain.
I'd like Marty to say a few words now that he's a captain. But I do want to just say that when he was a very young child, he wrote, and your mother found this, that you wanted to be a police officer. And your brother, he wanted to be a fireman. And he is a fireman, and you're a police officer. And so I know your whole family is very proud of you. Captain?
Thank you very much. I want to say a few words. Thank you to the town board for selecting me. Thank you, Supervisor St. Lawrence. Thank you, Ms. Charles. Thank you, Mr. Ullman. Thank you, Deputy Supervisor Withers. Thank you, Chief Wydell. I'm honored to be selected for the position of police captain, and I'm truly humbled by the town board and the chief of police's selection, and I promise I will not disappoint you. And most important, I will not disappoint the men and women of the Round Pond Police Department or the residents of the town of Round Pond. I also would be remiss if I didn't thank my family, my lovely wife Dawn, and my children Brooke and Colin. They're my life. I love them. And of course, my mom and dad. They've always supported me, and I just can't say enough about my family and say enough about working for the town of Round Pond. It's been a great experience my whole life. I've been 31 years in law enforcement, 29 of them right here in Round Pond, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. Thank you.
Well, we're going to ask the chief to come up, and we're going to have some pinning going on here. And I do want to remind everybody that in the spring of 2017, that Captain Riley will be joining the ranks of the National Academy of the FBI Police Academy in Quantico, and we're very proud of you that you've been accepted in that program. And I know that you will bring back even more experience and knowledge to help the people in this town. Congratulations.
She's from North Rockland.
No pressure.
We all know that this is always like this. There's no pressure here. They have to, you got your gloves on? You got it? He's got it. He's got it. Colin's got it. Colin runs track in school, mile and above. And Brooke is an actress. Chief, before you go, the chief has a presentation as well.
As Captain Riley said, family is so important, and this is for you.
Now you have a choice. You can stay for the rest of the meeting, or you can go home and celebrate. See that? You guys are covering you already. Let's hear it one more time for our new captain, Marty Riley.
My pleasure. Congratulations.
He's in the back of the hall. I did. Oh, good for you. I told him he's a real man. She's a vet. I was proud of him for being. Yeah.
Should we
Okay, at this time, we would open the floor up to anybody who wants to speak in public participation. Raise your hand. Come right up. Tell him he has 3 minutes, Chris. Just state your name and your address, and you have 3 minutes to address the
Okay.
board.
Second. Start it now. Judah Lehrer, 52 Brewer Road, Muncie, and I see somebody's missing tonight. I've come here to mock and scold some of you because when the indictments come down, the nature of this town board is going to obviously change. I'm going to do it with 4 short stories. The first one is when I ran for town board the first time 15 or so years ago. Eugene Levy's widow came to me, pulled me aside, and said, "Be careful. Those people will do anything to win." And by those people, Mr. St. Lawrence, she was referring to you and your cohorts and running mates, though I didn't know what she was talking about because I was new and naive. A few weeks later, I found out when my running mate, Kathy Ellsworth, came to me with tears in her eyes, telling me, "People are saying very bad things about me, Judah. They're calling me an anti-Semite." This is before Preserve Ramapo even existed. This is before Bob Rhodes got involved, before Castelluccio, Parietti got involved, all those Jew haters. And you could have put a stop to it, Mr. Supervisor. You could have gone to Isaac Leibowitz and said, "Cut it out," but you didn't. And that's because of what Mrs. Levy told me. You'll do anything to get elected. Story number 3, the elections go by, the zoning changes are made, Leviwitzes get very wealthy. Paul Jelsic takes a stab at it. Went over to Isaac and said, "Listen, now that you got everything you want, maybe you could throw the Republican Party a little something. You know, maybe a town board seat, something." And this is Isaac's quote: "We still have use for Mr. St. Lawrence." I cannot imagine anybody saying that about Ed Day. I cannot imagine anybody saying that about me without having my son's fist in the guy's face. Finally, 4th story, the great late Sandy Dranoff, at the departure of Noel Blackman, said the following. Told the story and concluded by saying, "Politics is a whore." Great word. And at least we know what Isaac Leibowitz thinks of you, Mr. Supervisor. Enjoy your indictments.
Thank you. Anyone else? Motion to close the public participation. Moved by Councilwoman Charles, second by Deputy Supervisor Withers. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, carries unanimously. Okay, the next item on the agenda is the Town Attorney, Michael Klein.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor, members of the Town Board. The first resolution for your consideration is the settlement of a lawsuit. This has been recommended by the law firm of Sokoloff and Stern that has been representing us through our insurance carrier.
Moved by?
Withers, please.
Moved by Deputy Supervisor Withers, seconded by Councilman Ullman. All those in favor
Just,
say aye.
this is a settlement, right, and it's no harm to the town, right? We're not admitting any wrong or anything like that.
No, there's no admission of any
Yeah.
wrongdoing, and we contribute our self-insurance amount, and the insurance company indicated that the cost of litigating it weighed against the offer that was proposed under federal rules, made this a business decision that they're asking us to accept.
Okay, thank you. I'll move.
And by the way, no, that's it.
I'll move.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, we voted on that.
Sorry.
All those in favor
yes,
say aye.
yes.
Okay. Opposed, carries unanimously.
We have one tax issuer settlement. This was discussed in the executive session. It's, the property owner is Bais Mahari Assad. This is for tax years 2015 and 2016.
Withers?
Moved by Deputy Supervisor Withers, seconded by Councilman Ullman. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, carries unanimously.
The next 3 resolutions all involve acceptance of proposals for insurance. These have been reviewed and accepted by our insurance committee and been recommended by our insurance consultant. The first of these, 1C1, is for liability insurance. This is through Trident.
Withers?
Moved by Deputy Supervisor Withers, seconded by Councilman Ullman. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Carries unanimously.
The next resolution, 1C2, is accepting a proposal from Travelers. This is for property and equipment coverage.
Withers?
Moved by Deputy Supervisor Withers, seconded by Councilman Ullman. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Carries unanimously.
And 1C3 is the proposal for excess liability coverage.
Withers?
Moved by Deputy Supervisor Withers, seconded by Councilman Ullman. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Carries unanimously.
1D is simply a correction of a prior resolution. The entity involved should be referred to as creating healthy places to live, work, and play. Otherwise, the resolution is as was originally approved.
So it's a name change from
It's a
the
name
previous
change.
resolution. Moved by
Withers?
Councilman Ullman, second by Deputy Supervisor Withers. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Carries unanimously.
I was asked by Ms. Condon to handle the next few matters under personnel, with the board's permission.
Okay.
The first of these is authorization to serve disciplinary charges against a police officer. This matter was discussed at the last few town board meetings, and again during executive session at our workshop earlier this week.
Withers?
Moved by Deputy Supervisor Withers, seconded by Councilwoman Charles. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Carries unanimously.
2B on the agenda is the appointment of an independent hearing officer to hear disciplinary charges being brought against a Highway Department employee. The officer being chosen is Jonas Gelb.
Can we go into an executive session for that?
We may.
Okay. All right.
And finally, under personnel, is a resolution approving an unpaid leave request by Beechers Pierre. This is for 2 days.
Moved by Councilwoman Charles, seconded by Councilman Ullman. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Carries unanimously. Should we do that executive session item now?
Sure, that would be appropriate.
Okay, as long as we're on personnel. A motion to go into executive session for a personnel item, moved by
Withers?
Councilman, Deputy Supervisor Withers, seconded by Councilwoman Charles. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Carries unanimously. If everybody could just leave for just a few minutes, and then we'll bring you back, okay?
Charles Ullman.
We are back out of executive session, and we have a
This is a resolution, this is 2B on the agenda, to appoint Judge Jonas Gelb as an independent hearing officer with respect to a disciplinary hearing.
moved by Councilwoman Charles, seconded by
Withers?
Deputy Supervisor Withers. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Carries unanimously. Item number 3, Finance. Nat?
We have an amendment to our 2016 budget where the police department is going to purchase a vehicle and going to use the funds from the captured
From the
operations.
forfeiture? Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Moved by Councilman Ullman, seconded by Councilwoman Charles. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nat.
On Elm Street?
Or is that just the condo?
They
want a handicap.
Another handicap.
Just the condo will take care of everything?
Yeah,
you're doing?
yeah. We could have a resolution saying that requests a special space be
So do we
put.
need to?
Well, it is
Who owns the parking?
it is a handicap spot. Is the spot actually a handicap now?
No, they're asking for a parking spot.
So it's an additional handicap. Why don't we make a motion?
have to make a motion?
I think we should. I think we
It's,
should.
it's on the Elm Street property?
Yeah. No, so no, it's not on Elm.
Oh, sorry.
It's the
On the
town,
street?
property.
Town road.
Yeah. Yeah, that's dedicated, that's town road, yeah. So I think we should establish that. Do you know, well, the location to be determined by the highway superintendent, right?
Want to make it 5B, new business?
Yeah. Okay. And 5,
We're up to
we're up to 4, town clerk.
4A. Let's not forget 4A.
4A, do you want me to do that for you?
Would you?
Yes. 4A, a town clerk. It is an authorization for the town clerk to attend the New York State Town Clerks Association 2016 Conference in Saratoga Springs, New York, April 17th through April 20th.
Any amendments the deputy supervisor attends with them?
You're his driver.
I'll move it. Withers.
Moved by Deputy Supervisor Withers, seconded by Councilman Ullman. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, carries unanimously.
We-
Next, under new business?
Yeah, we have
Thank you.
a few new business items. The
You're
first of
welcome.
these, our golf pro, Mr. Musto, requests that the date of the second payment of his contract be changed from June 1st to March 15th. I believe he spoke to Deputy Supervisor about this. I discussed this with Michelle Antosca, who had no objection to that amendment for this year. So that would be
Okay, so
the...
there's no increase in...
There's no
it's just-
increase.
It's just the timing of the payment?
Yes.
Okay. Moved by?
Withers.
Withers, seconded by Councilwoman Charles. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, carries unanimously.
The next new business item involves retaining the services of Randy Steckert, a snake expert. Mr. Steckert has worked with the town in the past, and his services are now needed to help in the development of town property in the vicinity of Tornbrook Road. And this is primarily in getting approvals for a subdivision of that property with the Department of Environmental Conservation.
Withers.
Moved by Deputy Supervisor Withers, seconded by Councilwoman Charles. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, carries unanimously.
The next resolution schedules a public hearing for 10 o'clock on March 24th, 2016, in response to a request for the conveyance of property located at 301 Torn Valley Road.
Pomona Road.
Pomona Road, I'm sorry.
Moved by Deputy Supervisor Withers, seconded by Councilwoman Charles. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, 3-0.
And finally, a resolution that we've talked about before, which we added on as new business tonight. This would amend Schedule A of Resolution 2015-245 to include Ms. Montel on that schedule that was previously approved.
Moved by Councilwoman Charles, seconded by
Withers.
Deputy Supervisor Withers. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, carries unanimously. Any other new business, Council?
No, that's all we have.
Oh, you got that? Did you do that?
Oh, the handicap
Oh,
handicap space?
we'd like to do a motion by Mr. Ullman for a handicap spot to be
Withers.
installed on Elm Street with an assigned handicap for a resident living at Elm Street, and the spot to be determined by the Superintendent of Highways. Moved by Councilwoman Ullman, seconded by Councilwoman Charles. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
By
Carries
the way,
unanimously.
they're referred to as accessible spaces.
Accessible space. Thank you. Thank you. I would like to mention something else. On March 18th, it's going to be Willie Worsley Day on March 18th. And whereas 2 years after the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which outlawed racial segregation in the public school system, a school from El Paso, Texas, made history on the night of March 19, 1966. The Texas Western Miners played Kentucky in the NCAA basketball championship game. The game was considered to be the game that changed college basketball forever. Texas Western coach Don Haskins made history that day by starting 5 African-American players: Bobby Joe Hill, David Latin, Orsten Artis, Harry Flournoy, and our special honoree on March 18th, our very, very own starting guard, Willie Worsley. The Texas Western upset mighty Kentucky 72-65 to win the NCAA basketball championship. In the words of Willie Worsley, we were more white-oriented than any other team in the Final Four. That's Willie. We played the most intelligent, the most boring, and the most disciplined game of them all. Willie also enjoyed the game for another reason. His working mother, Julia, was home in front of her TV watching. It was the only time she got to see him play basketball. Whereas Willie Worsley would go on to become the basketball coach at the Woody Crest Children's Home, dean of students for the Harlem Boys Choir, and longtime coach of the Spring Valley High School basketball team. And whereas Willie Worsley has also been a steadfast advocate for children and for exemplary role model, now therefore it be resolved that I, Christopher P. St. Lawrence, by virtue of the authority vested in me as supervisor of the town of Ramapo, and the Ramapo Town Board members Patrick J. Withers, Yitzhak Ullman, Brendel Logan Charles, and Samuel Tress, do hereby proclaim Friday, March 18, 2016, as Willie Worsley Day in the town of Ramapo. Congratulations to Willie, and we'll present that to him on that day. He's being honored. We have a paper shredding event that will be taking place here on Saturday, March 12th. This is the Rockland County Solid Waste Management Authority is sponsoring shredder days in all of the town halls, and it's the time for it to come to Ramapo. So this is free for all of our residents. It is Saturday, March 12th, and Sunday, April 10th. So we alternated that so we could get everybody involved. And so it's Saturday, this is Saturday, March 12th, and then Sunday, April 10th, 8 a.m. to 12 noon. And I want to remind everybody on the Zika virus that when it gets to be warm and 75 degrees out like today, it's time to go out around your house and look for areas that may have some water in them, whether it's a bird bath or an old tire that may have something in it, or any type of breeding ground for mosquitoes, and to eliminate those mosquito breeding grounds. Any council members have any comments? Well, on behalf of the entire town board, I again want to congratulate Captain Marty Riley and his great service over 29 years to this department and his service that's going forward. And we want to end tonight's meeting in memory of one of our department heads, Tony Malia, had the untimely death of his brother at a very young age of 57, and we want to close the meeting in his honor tonight and have our clerk send a letter to the family, sending our condolences and our remorse over this tragic event. So untimely, so young. With that, entertain a motion to adjourn. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you all very much.